Obviously, we're talking about a vibrant culture. There's nothing more vibrant in terms of sporting culture than football. I say this as a Manchester United season ticket holder and a Tom Pentra fan. Both teams on very similar trajectories in many ways. And Tom, however, almost went out of business in the summer, I think. But we'll hope for better things tonight when we play Partizan Belgrade. That's Manchester United, not Tom Pentra. As you can see, we've come mob-handed this afternoon. There's good reasons for that, which you'll find out, or you've partly found out already, thanks to Justin. But my job really is to give you a bit of context and a bit of background, and I'll need Andrew's assistant probably to play a little video in a second, due to a very slight technical hitch that we've had with the presentation. Well, why Wrexham? I should say that I've nicked this from a corporate brochure produced by the chief executive of Wrexham Council about football, and in a sense that's instructive that our new chief executive Ian Bancroft has seen the potential of football, not just in terms of potentially a football museum, but also in terms of grassroots football, the development of football grounds at local schools, new training facilities for the national team in Colliers Park in Wrexham, new training facilities for Wrexham Football Club in the town as well. And he's very keen on rolling all these together. Wrexham obviously is the place where the FAW was established in 1876. It's the first place where there was a Welsh international against Scotland, which, as you can see, Richard was lost 2-0. So it's a place which is, and like I say this as a South Walian, it's a place that is very keen on football in the same way that South Wales is keen on rugby union. So it's a sense, for us, it seems an obvious place to have a football museum. We thought we'd better tell you where Wrexham was, just in case you didn't know. It's about 10 miles to the south of Chester. It's about 6 miles as the crow flies from the English border. It's actually on the eastern side of Offa's Dyke. I think the Deputy Minister yesterday mentioned Offa's Dyke in his presentation. The museum itself opened in 1996. It's within a listed building, a former mid-19th century militia barracks and police station. But it's one of the more notable buildings probably in the town within a conservation area. That comes with its challenges. It's not a building which is designed for museum use, but it's still, as you can see, quite a fine building. The museum has been in its current building since 1996. It was refurbished with a grant from the Heritage Lottery Fund in 2010, 2011, reopened early in 2011. 1986 it was getting about 8,500 visitors a year. Now it gets between 35 and 48,000 visitors a year, depending on the visitor offer. Just in case anybody asks, so you're wondering, the dog there is the Acton dog, and that's something we've adopted as a sort of symbol of the museum. It's a very famous local icon within the town, and this chap here has proved very popular with our visitors. Film, Andrew.
Hello. Can I say Wrexham Football Club actually began life as Wrexham Cricket Club?
It did? No, it did. On the site which was previously a racecourse.
Indeed.
I should say this very short film was done for us by the National Lottery to celebrate their 25th birthday earlier this year. And it's a really nice little introduction to our football collection. The football collection was purchased with a grant from the Heritage Lottery Fund again in the year 2000. So you can see we've had an aspiration to have a football museum in Wrexham for a very long time. It's just that our refurbishment in 2010, the HLF weren't able to give us the sort of money that we required, which was about £4 million, to realise that vision. But we purchased this collection in the year 2000. We supplemented the collection again in 2004 with the purchase of material from Glenda Charles following the very sad death of John Charles, the gentle giant, that year, and the collection has continued to grow since then. Okay.
This is where we store the Welsh football collection. It was purchased with help from the Heritage Lottery Fund back in the year 2000. Well, one of the key items here is the debut shirt worn by John Charles when he first represented Wales. We've got some more items here connected to John Charles's playing career. A little player's badge from when he was in the World Cup. There's an item here, we've got a programme from the qualifiers for the 1958 World Cup. That's the one time Wales made the World Cup finals. And then here's one of the programmes from the games, Mexico versus Wales. One of the sort of star items in the collection is this swap shirt that was got by Peter Rodrigue. We think it belongs to Grenter, the Brazilian player. One of the more recent shirts here was worn by Mark Hughes, Gabon-born player. Football is a key part of Welsh national identity. You can just look back to Euro 2016, the pride there was in Wales at the performance of the Welsh team. The funding from the National Lottery keeps some of that great footballing heritage here in Wales. We're going to have a new exhibition this July here at Wrexham Museum, showcasing some of the great objects from the Welsh football collection, and also some of the great stories of Welsh football over the past 125 years or so.
So that exhibition is called Football Forever. There are some yellow leaflets, I think, knocking around at the back of the hall. If you're interested in grabbing it. The exhibition's on until the middle of January next year, so there's plenty of time yet to come and see it. We haven't got the space at the moment to have the football collection on permanent display, so it, as you can see, is largely in storage. But we have had something over 14 temporary exhibitions of the material since we've had it, and these are some of the posters of those exhibitions we've had over the years. The reason that the Heritage Lottery Fund were very keen to fund Grenter the purchase of this collection was they see it very much as a bridge between normal heritage and sporting heritage. They see that if we can attract an audience to see football, and we can get them then interested in the general heritage of the Wrexham area, that's very much a principle which we're carrying on with this proposed development, because we're not having Wrexham Football Museum just in the building. We're going to have Wrexham Museum and the Football Museum in the building if all goes to plan, and then what we're hoping to do is to make the two work together so that we broaden an interest and engagement in heritage across all of those various facets. So, as I say, it's not a new idea having a football museum in Wrexham, but the Welsh Government commissioned some consultants, Just Solutions, to produce a feasibility report which went to Welsh Government about this time last year, I suppose. That was the headline recommendations. It's got a big document. I won't tell you everything that's in it. You can go look it up on the internet and read it yourselves. But they obviously recommended that there'd be an expert panel to review the question of sporting heritage in general, and of course they recommended that Wrexham Museum become the football museum for Wales. And of course the Deputy Minister yesterday made exciting announcements about both of those things. Now as I say, we thought we would do something a little bit different, because we haven't got photographs of galleries to show you. We haven't got photographs of the wonderful interactives that we'll have. We haven't got a case of with the 2020 European Championship trophy, which Wales will clearly win in a couple of years' time. So what we thought we would do instead, and that's particularly notable for where we are in terms of the project, because we haven't started really yet. We're about to start employing, hopefully, a project officer, a football curator, design team, and so on. And our ideas about the galleries are starting to form, I suppose it's fair to say. But we thought we'd take advantage of your expertise and your experience by asking you to come up with some thoughts about what should be in the new museum. Okay? So John, my colleague here, John, who you've already sort of heard of virtually, will introduce the exercise.
Okay.
Thank you.
My kind colleagues are going to be handing out 2 sheets of paper to everybody. So hoping you're getting sort of groups of 2s and 3s together, so you can have a bit of a chat. And what we're hoping you can do is try to think of the sort of the factors, the qualities, the attributes you have to create a successful football museum or a successful sports museum. So in a sense, sports are sport. And obviously, inspired by the theme of football, we thought we'd lay them out like a football team
So you've got obviously 11 players on the pitch, the 11 attributes or qualities. You can also have 4 substitutes you might want to bring on later in the game or later in the project. We have suggested some ideas, which will be handed out. Yeah. So I'll give along here. So you can think, so we've given you some ideas to think about. In a sense, we've set a squad of 40 players, but like any squad, there may be some missing. So you allow up to 3 transfers. The transfer window is about the next sort of 10 minutes or so, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, 10 minutes.
10 minutes. So you get together, and I've done there's a traditional 4-4-2 layout, but obviously you can have your own layout if you wish. This obviously is the starting point. You might want to think of it chronologically if you want to get really complicated, or you could just think of what the most important factors or qualities to create a successful sporting museum.
I should say that we'll be collating the results of this, and we will actually be using it. So, has everybody got them?
Are you working as a 3 here?
Who hasn't got one?
Thank you very much, folks. Thank you very much for your information.